live at the 1760 Studio Beta. This is Yehoshua Werth. I'm Yehoshua Werth, and this is the Kosher Spirit. Today we'll be reviewing DS Tayman, a beautiful independent project of a group of guys out of the United Kingdom who has an incredible holding of Scotch whiskey. And they've decided to release their own independent bottling projects instead of just brokering all of them out. This one today is coming in this beautiful, bright green, can't miss package. And what we've realized is that Scotch always comes in a tube, about 80% of the time, 85% of the time. And bourbon doesn't. It's not their style. Rum can sometimes come in a tube. Tequila, ceramic bottles, glass bottles, painted bottles. Mezcal, usually very individualized, similar, simple art on the external part of the bottle itself. Liqueurs, rarely, if ever, come in canisters. I've seen like one European kosher one that has a cool package externally in a box. Other than that, let's move forward with some whiskey besides the education of boxes and names and WSKY versus WSKEY, Ireland, America. This is Blair Athol. This is from the Highlands. Cask number 1801470, one of 371 bottles made. This is distilled in 2008 and bottled in 2021. This is a very important little reference note here. Distilled, matured, aka barreled, and bottled in Scotland at 46% alcohol. Most of the whiskeys in Scotland that you see are not unchill filtered. They are not lacking in caramel color. And this is why people, when they do the whiskeys like this, is a gift. And we'll see how that measures up versus other whiskeys that are chill filtered, that do choose to mess with the whiskey based upon their being afraid or stylistically want to be perfect every single year exactly the same way and not get cloudy when receiving cold temperatures. Blair Athol is a Scotch that you do not see any standard bottlings of come to the United States. You may find in some duty-free situations, and you may find in some other private bottlings, but I've never seen a regular release in the United States, ever. So let's get an aroma check going on. Again, Blair Athol, 46% alcohol. This is a Highland single malt Scotch whiskey. Oh my gosh. It's on point. Absolutely on point. It is totally fascinating that a whiskey has such richness. And don't tell me wine doesn't have an influence on the bottle, because there is no way in the world that this whiskey doesn't have its wine influence just popping out of the glass. And I love it. I just don't understand why anybody's afraid of that. Just to own it, just own it. Okay, 4 minutes in. Smell check. Redundant but beautiful. Malty. Hello. And good beers are malty too. Straight to the point. Nutty woods. but lively, fresh. Kind of a toffee chew. A little bit of a persimmon thing going on there, just a touch. Okay. You go to the blacksmith. You see him checking the slice power of his sword across a beautiful piece of fresh, thick, season-aged oak. This mild persimmon flake off when you check the edge of the knife. A little bit of an ocean air, like someone has a furniture shop and they're making fresh furniture, and the air of the ocean, the breeze is kind of wafting it straight into the room. Now let's give it a sip. Chayim v'bracha to everyone's health, wealth, safety, and peace in the world. Baruch atah Eloheinu melech haolam she'hakol yeh bidvaro. Oh my goodness, the flavor that just jabs you in the center. It's got a touch of a little bite. But like, seriously, it is smooth here, warm, uplifting, and it's cool. It's like this spice jab right here. A little bit up here, a little tannic. You get the woods action like you do on a great wine that kind of squeezes your cheekies in, a little bit on the top of the tongue, kind of gets into the base, a little bit of that restrictiveness, kind of a mild acid in the whiskey. For surely some beautiful wine tones. Okay, let's give this a little bit more of a floor taste. Once you cleanse your palate, you always want to take another sip to see where the whiskey's really at, the wine's really at, the rum is really at, the tequila's really at, because otherwise you don't know. It's just combining with whatever food you had before, or whether toothpaste or mouthwash, or who knows. Okay. All right. Out of the neat glass, we're getting a persimmon seedy, almost like a, what was that? Like a roasted peach, like a roasted peach nut or roasted peach seed or core. Woods that are accenting with a lot of little red wine nuance. It says Bordeaux finished, so it's really nailing that central line a lot. And I think this is what you call a food pairing whiskey. I don't always say that. Most whiskeys I want to have by themselves. This is going to go great with some like turkey with the stuffing, like a real like fruity stuffing. God, that's cool. Turkey with a whiskey. Interesting. I did a wine yesterday, a white one that went well with turkey too. Maybe I'm just like yearning for turkey. It's got some really cool flavors though. Very different, very interesting, very malty, very like red, like citrus outer core with roasted stone fruit core peach pit. I really like the length of the whiskey. It's not like driving like, oh my God, home run, boom, like, but it's good. These are around $66 which makes them not at the top tier central wise for whiskey itself. And I think it's accessible. You can find these on sale for about $60. Good flavor over the top of your mouth. I give this about an 87, 88, 87 and a half, which is a nice drinking whiskey. Maybe 88, because of the way the finish and the wine and everything kind of finishes up. And I'm enjoying it. This is the DS Tayman, 42% alcohol. It is a whiskey that will bring a smile. It is interesting. It is flavorful. It has a good, decently long finish. It is 46% alcohol, no caramel coloring, and comes from a couple of boys back in the United Kingdom. Scotch whiskey, Yehoshua Werth, live at the 1760 Beta Studio. Lots of love. Yehoshua Werth in the mix.